Hey everyone, welcome. Today, we're diving into a kitchen appliance you've probably seen a million times. But what if I told you that this old-school slow cooker has a secret superpower that makes it one of the smartest gadgets you can own? Seriously, let's dig in and find out what it is. You know, the source material for this explainer just hits the nail on the head, calling this thing a rebel. In an age where everything has a touch screen and needs to connect to our smart home, this slow cooker proudly goes the other way. And as we're about to see, that's what makes it so darn brilliant.
So, what exactly makes this machine such a rebel? It's the fact that what it doesn't have is actually its greatest strength, and it all starts with just how shockingly simple it is.
I mean, just look at this thing. There's no complicated programming, no headaches trying to pair it with your Wi-Fi, no annoying software updates. Just one single mechanical knob with 4 settings: off, low, high, and warm. In a kitchen full of high-tech gadgets, this thing is like a beautiful, unapologetic dinosaur in the best way possible.
Okay, but that simplicity, it unlocks some seriously incredible advantages. Let's take a look at how this plays out, and we'll start with its most obvious and maybe most impressive superpower. 7 quarts. Now, that number might not sound like a big deal on its own, but it's a huge capacity. It really turns this thing from just a simple soup pot into a genuine feast maker. Okay, so what does 7 quarts actually look like in the real world? Well, it means you can easily feed a family of 7, or even more. It means you can fit a massive 7-pound roast inside without having to squish it in. Or, my personal favorite, you can cook a giant batch on Sunday and have your lunches prepped for the entire week. That's the real power of all that space. All right, now here's a feature that so many people totally overlook. Because the insert is ceramic, you can slow cook your meal all day, and then you can pull it out and stick it directly into the oven to get a crispy brown top. Think about it, a mac and cheese with that perfect, bubbly, crispy crust on top. That's something most digital multi-cookers with their thin metal inserts just can't do. Okay, get ready, because this is the main event. This is the part that's going to flip everything you thought you knew about smart appliances right on its head. This is how this supposedly dumb device becomes the smartest slow cooker you can possibly own. So, it really all boils down to this one question. How in the world can an old-school mechanical knob outsmart a fancy digital cooker? Well, the answer is just beautiful in its simplicity, and it's incredibly effective. See, because that dial is totally physical, it stays in whatever position you put it in. So you can plug the Crock-Pot into any cheap, basic smart plug. What does that mean? It means you can prep your dinner at 7 in the morning, leave the house, and then use your phone to turn the cooker on at 10 a.m. from your desk at work. It's remote control for a dumb appliance. But this is the absolute genius of the whole system, the power outage test. Think about it. If your power flickers for even a second, a digital cooker resets itself to off and your dinner stops cooking. It's basically ruined. But the manual Crock-Pot, when the power comes back on, that physical knob is still switched to on, so it just picks up right where it left off. It's the ultimate fail-safe.
Okay, let's tackle a really common mystery. If you've ever used a modern slow cooker, you've probably noticed something. They seem to cook a lot hotter than the ones from way back when. Well, it turns out there's a very specific and very important reason for that.
Yeah, this is the big question you see all over the place, in reviews, on forums. People worry that the low setting is broken or too aggressive because they see their food simmering or sometimes even boiling. But it's not a defect, it's actually a feature. So here's the deal. Both the low and high settings, they're actually designed to end up at the exact same temperature, which is the simmer point, right around 209 degrees Fahrenheit. The only real difference between the two settings is how fast they get to that temperature. High will get there in about 3 or 4 hours, while low takes a more leisurely 7 to 8 hours. So why the change? Well, it all comes down to food safety. The new temperature settings are designed to push food through the temperature danger zone, that's where bacteria likes to grow, as quickly as possible. So your food doesn't just get tender, it's also a whole lot safer. And hey, while we're talking about safety, let's be super clear about something. This specific manual slow cooker we're talking about, the SCV700 model, has not been recalled. The recalls you might have heard about were for the Crock-Pot Express, which is a totally different appliance that's also a pressure cooker. Okay, so let's put this all together. What's the final verdict here? We've got to look at the trade-offs and figure out who this classic slow cooker is really for. Look, no product is perfect, right? This model doesn't have a locking lid, so it's not the best for taking to a potluck. The metal outside also gets pretty hot, so you gotta be careful. And the power cord is short, just 24 inches, which is a safety thing, but it does mean you need to have an outlet right nearby.
So when you put it head-to-head with its main competitor, how does it stack up? Well, it's actually pretty simple. If you're someone who travels with your food and you absolutely need that locking lid, the Hamilton Beach model is probably your better bet. But if you want that classic heavy-duty stoneware for cooking at home, the Crock-Pot is an icon for a reason.
And you know what? That really says it all. The source material wraps it up perfectly. If you just want a reliable, high-capacity workhorse that does its job year after year, this is it. It's proof you don't need a Wi-Fi connection to make an amazing meal. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? In our race to make everything smart, have we maybe forgotten that sometimes the simplest tech is the smartest of all?